Hi, everyone. Welcome to Livestream Wednesday. It is today we're going to talk about embracing who you are. And it's a subject that really needs to be discussed because a lot of people want to be themselves, but not everybody is being themselves, right? So I'm looking at this book right now, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. If you like this book, if you've read this book, you can put a thumbs up in the comments. Also, ask questions. That's why I'm on here live. If you have questions, ask questions. But I'm here to discuss with you today about discuss with you about embracing who you are, because you are incredible. You're here to live a happy and fulfilled life, and you're here to make your own decisions, right? And you're going to have people in your life who have their own plans for you, their own agenda, and it could be because they love you, but that doesn't make it right. So I want you to feel empowered to be yourself and to make decisions based on that, right? There's also awareness. Like, embracing who you are is awesome. And personal development, there's a part of that where you are exploring yourself all of the time. You're learning about yourself, you're developing into a better person every day. And when you put the two together, you explore, you bring awareness, you personally develop, and you embrace who you are every day, you are going to live a happy and fulfilled life. There won't be room for people who want to build an agenda for you or who have plans for you, because part of developing personally is learning how to communicate. So whether you have a partnership, a romantic partner, or someone, a friend or a family, you learn how to communicate so that you are effective and positive, and you don't get in those miscommunications. I mean, and no one's perfect, right? So you may have a miscommunication. You might have a sharp tongue. They might have a sharp tongue, but you learn how to handle it, especially when you are developing every day and you're embracing who you are, when you are living life for yourself. That's when you're the happiest. And the people around you are the happiest too, because you're feeling good, you're well balanced, you're doing everything. You know how people are attracted to someone who is happy, has energy, going for what they want. You know, they have goals. I mean, they're on fire. Everybody's attracted to that. People love that. People love when you are improving on yourself, and you're really feeling great. And so everyone's attracted to that. It helps, when you're improving, it helps your relationships anyway. So, but I do want to talk about this book, because a lot of you, I'm sure, have heard of Brene Brown. Right? This book is a New York Times bestseller, and it's called The Gifts of Imperfection. And that's one, and I'm not going to go through the whole book, because if I do, I mean, we'll be here for days. So I'm just going to go through one part of it, because I feel like it's really important, when you are embracing yourself, that you learn to love your gifts of imperfection. No one is perfect. And in fact, if you try to be perfect, that's when you get messed up. Some people might say little white lies because, they want to make a situation better, or dress perfectly. They don't want to leave the house not looking put together, including makeup for us who wear makeup, because they don't want to look imperfect. But the thing is that no one is perfect. Girls, we don't wake up, or, we don't wake up wearing makeup. Those of us who wear makeup, you don't wake up wearing makeup, you don't wake up unless you have tattooed makeup. You still have, I guess I didn't even think about that, but we are not that when we're raw. Okay, when we first wake up, normally we're not all made up. clothes and everything. We are imperfect. And that's also when you're having a conversation with someone. You may not say the perfect thing. You may need to backtrack and say, whoops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. You may be in a bad mood. This is not about, embracing who you are and developing into the best person. It's not about being perfect. There's no such thing. There's people out in the personal development world that have been working on themselves for decades, and no one. And if they do tell you that they're perfect or they have no problems, then look somewhere else. I would advise you, because that's not the truth. We are all of the time working on ourselves, and I want you to embrace who you are, but also know that being imperfect is a gift. It gives you a chance to get better all of the time. It also gives you a chance to realize that the people around you aren't perfect. So in developing with relationships, and we're all in relationships of some kind, whether you are in a romantic relationship, you're single, relationship with yourself, you have children, grandchildren, co-workers, you're in relationships. And so us human beings, the beauty about us is that we're not perfect, and we have the ability and the chance to become better all of the time. We get to make that decision. We have that will. And to know that none of us are perfect, it can be really helpful when you're faced with a big challenge. A lot of us are faced with big challenges all of the time, every day. Especially now, some people have lost their jobs. Some people, their health has declined. Some people have separated. So there's a lot of challenges that could happen. Even if you have, you're in a new relationship, there could be challenges with that as well, especially if you are a little bit older, or you are mixing families. So you've already been, in a relationship and you have families. Like, it can get complicated after all of the blissfulness of the newness has settled down a little bit. So you're always in a relationship, but I want you to really focus this. So we're going to talk about the gifts of imperfection, embracing who you are, in relationship with yourself. Because if you want to thrive, if you want to really have great relationships with other people, in your business, then you have to start with yourself. No matter what, you always need to work on yourself first. Everything else is affected by what goes on in your mind, like your mindset, and the things that you tell yourself, the self-talk. There are, I talk a lot about energy. We are energetic beings, and it's becoming more mainstream now. It's not as woo-woo as it used to be, but we're made up of atoms, electrons, neutrons, and protons. We have a certain frequency. And so, you can get into even to mainstream coaching, mainstream leaders, and they do have mantras that they that they have for themselves. They lead their teams in that. They hire coaches to lead their teams and learning how to have mantras or create vision boards. Accountability is everything. You want to have accountability when you're making changes and improvements. It's so helpful and essential. But everybody talks about working on yourself first. And this has all gone mainstream as well, where it's not just the woo-woo energetic way anymore, because our thoughts are things, and your mind, whatever you're thinking, your mindset, makes all of the difference. If you are beating yourself up over not being perfect, or let's say you have these expectations of yourself that are just, they're just, something that, I don't want to say not realistic, because you could skyrocket, you could really create a quantum leap. But some people self-sabotage by creating an expectation so high that they may, and they have these self-sabotaging beliefs or their paradigm, their patterns, that they're not going to reach those, and subconsciously they know that. Like we can go in a whole deep discussion about that we're not going to do go into today. But it's important that you write down your goals. And you have mantras and you visualize, but you have this energy and this mindset that you are worth it. You are worth the success, and it is okay to not be perfect, and it's a process of becoming better. So you're going to mess up. People around you are going to mess up. It's all about the recovery. um, my phone was on there. So anyway, just turn that off so I don't get distracted anymore. So it's all about the recovery. When you embrace who you are and you know that the being imperfect is a gift, then you can communicate that. You can apologize and say if you said something that wasn't right. Not all of us will get that right away. Come back and say, oh man, or sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was tired, blah, blah, all these other things, whatever. You get used to a certain pattern and a way of being. But when you stop beating yourself up about being perfect, that's when you give yourself room and everybody else room to grow and to get better, and you can embrace who you are. What is it that you really like to do? It could be something that some people think is totally odd or weird, but there's a lot of us out here that are weird and odd. And when we start talking about what we like to do and start actually doing it as well, either professionally or as a hobby, you're going to find that there's so many other people out there that like the same kind of things that you like or believe the same way that you believe. You can pull up, now that we have the internet, you can pull up whatever it is that you like to do, and you're going to find all kinds of resources, or books on the subjects. You can join clubs, you can make a club, but you're going to find that you're not alone, especially when you start to really embrace who you are and be who you are and know that you don't have to be perfect, because no one is perfect. And you're going to find, once you give yourself room, that you're really going to not just be happier, but you're going to start attracting those people that are like you and that accept you, especially when you are easy on yourself. And I don't mean that you shouldn't have expectations. Definitely have goals, and routines. Your mantras and your mindset, those are important. But beating yourself up doesn't do anybody good. It creates this environment energetically, and then you can call it your attitude, this energy, your attitude, something where it makes it very hard for the people around you to. It's hard on the people around you, right? So it's hard in your relationships, not just with yourself, but with other people. And relationships are everything, especially with yourself, because you're going to find that, it's not okay to apologize for who you are all of the time. And it's important that you live life fulfilled and happy, and not a lot of people do that. More and more are learning how to. The coaching world is exploding. And so you'll find there's a lot of coaches now, and a lot of people who are doing programs. I mean, you can jump into coaching with me. I really specialize in one-on-one. I have a mastermind group going on right now. But There's also coaching out there where you can do self-learning. You know, you could, there's Evergreen, which is, there's recordings that you can download, buy with booklets. There's books you can buy on it. You know, there's a lot of stuff on how to get better, and it's trending right now. People are wanting more. People are wanting to get better, and you're wanting to embrace yourself as much as I wanted to, before, you know, going through all of my own changes. You know, I even, yeah, letting my gray hair come through. And talking on live about the fact that we are energetic beings. You know, I have great friends who are energy experts. They're gifted, and they go into, you know, I have this whole other world that I love and embrace with biofield tuning. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. Sandra Lee is amazing at it. She's an expert. Astrology, Krista Thompson. There's human design. There's all kinds of quantum field healing. You know, there's so many things that you can do that's outside of the box, but you can also put this, you know, talk about your energy. We are energetic beings. I mean, we do give off a frequency. We just do. Even the earth does. It's called the Schumann resonance, the Schumann frequency, and the median is 7.83. And we need that to thrive. There's experiments about, you know, you can look into it, Schumann resonance, also known as the Schumann frequency. Everything has its own frequency, but you can translate that into your attitude. And so whatever type of attitude you're giving off, like, that's what you're going to get back. And it's really helpful, you know, some of these maps, these energetic maps like astrology, human design, they help you to find out, you know, what your profile is, but that doesn't mean that you have to be bound to that. You can be whoever you whoever you want, so that you can embrace who you are. It's imperative. But having the maps, it's really helpful. For instance, someone who is a 5-1, those of you who are interested in human design, what I'll do is I will put a link to get a free human design chart, and you can look at it. But I want you to know that no matter what your design is, you can be whoever you want. But for people who are 5-1s, it makes it a little bit harder for them because they reflect in a certain way. I'm not a human design expert. I can point you to a couple of human design experts to let you know more. But it's just all about learning about yourself. It's about self-awareness, and it's about having integrity, and it's about giving yourself room to make mistakes and to have the gifts of imperfection. I mean, Brene Brown goes into this. It is a gift. You know, she writes here, you know, let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. So there's all kinds of different profiles and personalities. You know, we birds of a feather flock together. So you can be unique with those people who have the same kinds of uniquenesses. But I want you to let go of who you think you're supposed to be. Let go of the plans that other people have for you, and embrace who you are by giving yourself room to be imperfect and to learn along the way. I mean, that's the way it goes, you know, and also focus on yourself first. That's how any relationship is going to thrive. That's how your business will thrive. That's how your energy balances, and when you focus on yourself and you live for you. And there's a selfish aspect to it. You can say that but it's really selfless, because when you're happy and balanced, everybody around you is. And again, nothing is perfect. This just means that, generally speaking, everything else is balanced. So it's all about the work you do on yourself, the room you give yourself to make mistakes, knowing that there's, it's a gift to be imperfect because it gives you a chance to get better. And that's why we're here. That's our purpose, in life as human beings. Like, you have your own specific purpose. I'm not sure what that is. Um, there was ways to find that out. But as human beings, we're here to grow and to get better. And we're going through this whole, through a lot of changes, because we want more and we want to embrace who we are. And it's okay more than ever to be who you are. And now is the time, to know that being imperfect is a gift and give yourself room. So, I was talking to someone, earlier about, being truthful, because having integrity is so important. We will go to the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the energy that you put out. And you can translate that, for those of you who are practical thinkers, to, your attitude. Whatever you give out, you're going to get back. And so if you're saying little white lies, or you're not being totally truthful, that's going to come back to you. People can tell, even if they're not quite sure, like, they have a gut feeling. We all have that intuition. And it's important to be truthful and live a life of integrity so that you can embrace who you are easily, and you're not wanting to, fall back on having to explain yourself, if you're that person, or apologize, because those kinds of things, they put, a guilt on you that you don't want. So embrace who you are. Know that, being imperfect is a gift, and give yourself first and people around you room to be imperfect, and to grow, because that's why you're here. That's why we're here. And it's all about your mindset. It's all about the thoughts that you think, and you can go into the, blue collar world or the corporate world, and it's starting to trend now. People are starting to get into feng shui, understand, that also to that sound or placement and colors, they all make a difference. Why do you think that the airports, a lot of airports now they're starting to play calming music, because it makes a difference. All of it does. And we really are vibrational beings. And so you're going to start to see in the corporate world how people are realizing that we're more than just, this body. We're more than that. And you can say it's our attitude. That's our energy that we put out. So embrace who you are. Be different. That's why you're here. Love what you do. Love yourself. Know that you're not going to be perfect, and work on yourself every day. And if you want help with that, developing yourself your personal development, send me a message and we will, talk about that. I'll give you a free 45-minute, discovery session, so that we can see if it's a fit to do some coaching. But you'll at least walk away with one or two tools so that you can start to embrace who you are now, and know that being imperfect is a gift. All right. See you soon.